Welcome to GridML. In this video, I'm going to take you on a short tour of the GridML XML Schema Viewer. GridML is a browser-based tool that is optimized for viewing and searching of XML schemas. A lot of times business analysts and systems analysts will use tools that are also schema editors or allow you to create a schema, but these tools are not necessarily optimized for viewing and searching of XML schemas, which is the functions that business analysts use most often. So let's get started. The first thing we do is from the browser, we click the user sign in, and this will load the tool into the browser. There's no software to download. The first thing it asks us to do is to set up schemas. So I'm going to click that button. And this brings us to our setup screen, and this has a list of repositories at the top left. In this area, it shows my repositories. These are ones that I have set up. They're like folders that store schema files. So these are ones that I have set up, and I can create as many folders or repositories in the my repository area that I want. The next area below shows repositories that are shared with me. And if I'm part of an organization such as an employer or a standards body that develops schemas, these are repositories that people within that group can share with me. Or alternatively, I can share schemas that I have loaded into my repository and share with other people that I want to within my employment group or within my standards body or whatever. The bottom area is for public repositories. These are schemas that GridML has made available to users, and you can select any of these, and there's nothing to download. Once you select them, they're immediately available to you. Schemas that you select to load into GridML are only accessible to you unless you share them. They're not accessible to GridML. Except for loading into the tool, but GridML can't share your schemas with anybody else. So they're what you share or load into repository is available only to you. So let's load a schema. I've created a schema called Acme XML. For complex schemas that have multiple files loaded, you can use this top window to drag and drop a folder into. The schema that I've selected is just a single file. So I'm going to select Browse, and there's my Acme XML schema. I'm going to pick that and click Open, and then select the Next button. And it was able to load the schema. There's no dependencies, says it's ready to go. So I'll select Add to Repository, and now the schema is being uploaded from my local hard drive to the GridML server. So here it is now showing under the default repository, and it asks me to select the root elements I want to use for viewing and searching. I'm going to select two of them. I'm going to select Acme XML as a root element, and let's pick Borrower. Now it's ready to go. I'm ready to go into viewing. The view function within GridML is optimized for browsing. It allows you to browse through the structure. Acme XML is the root element that I selected. I also selected Borrower as a root element, which is available under a separate tab. When I select either of these, it shows the contents. In the next column, it shows the contents underneath Acme XML. In this case, it's about version, data source, loan file, message party, and so on. If I click on the Borrower tab, it shows the elements under Borrow, which are alias, bankruptcy, borrower detail, employer information, and so on. And notice when I select an element in the far right column, it shows the element name and its definition that was included in the schema file, if there was one. It shows the minimum number of occurrences, maximum number of occurrences. In this case, for loan file, it says that it's required that there be at least one loan file element present within the XML data, and there's an unlimited number of loan files that can be included in this XML instance file that was defined by this schema. Once I select loan file, it shows the contents of loan file. If I select a liability, again for liability, once I click on that, it shows the definition over here in the far right column and any schema specific definitions that are applicable to it. Liability, we can see in the next column over, it consists of all of these elements. These are actual data elements. I can click on any of these and it will show me the definition. If there's attributes associated with it, it will show any attributes that are defined in the schema. I can click on any of these. If I click on liability type, that's in this particular schema, this is an enumerated element, and it shows the enumerated value, the enumerated definition, and then these are the allowed values. Deferred student loan, delinquent taxes, garnishments, HELOC, and it shows the definition of each of these items if it was provided in the schema file itself. So revolving loans, taxes, tax liens, and so on. Those are the liability types as defined in this particular Acme XML schema. Notice down here at the bottom, there's every time I click on a element, it shows the full path, and this is a path. You can copy the path or you can copy just the name, and it will this allows you, this function here, these copy full path and copy name, allow you to copy this information and optionally also its definition for pasting into a worksheet, which is a function that business analysts or system analysts commonly do if they're creating a mapping worksheet or a system specification or an implementation guide. So those are handy functions that GridML provides for those types of purposes. If we go and take a quick look at the search function, as I type in search, it'll bring up any things that I've recently searched for, or I can type in something like credit score. And notice as I type in each character, it's searching throughout the entire schema for things that match what I've typed in. And let's type in value, and now it's limited it down to one value. But when we have a bunch of items out here, like say credit score, notice it's found within the Acme schema, it's found that there's 6 matches, 3 in data point names, 1 in attribute names, 1 in enumerated value, and 1 is a data type that has the name credit score in it. These checkboxes here allow you to narrow. If you know that you only want to see data points, we can uncheck those 3, and now we can see these are the 3 data points that have the name credit score within it. If once I select an item, if I want to see, well, where is that item located in the schema, this shows that it's in 3 locations under Acme XML, and then it's in the loan file element in 3 locations. Under loan file, it's under 1 location in the borrower element of loan file and 2 locations in the services. If we want to see where it is in services, we can see it appears once in the credit response, which was a credit report file, and it appears once in a Acme loan score response, which is a structure that's specific to this fake Acme company, which is a imaginary mortgage company that we've set up for a demonstration. So once we select one of those, it shows, okay, this is its full path, and again, as in the previous one, this is the full path that's shown also down here. It matches Acme XML loan file, Acme XML loan file services, and then under Acme loan score response, it shows. But if I click credit score model name type, it shows the full path of that or location of that element within this particular structure. And if I was doing a data mapping from that location, I could say copy full XPath, and it would bring this full XPath and paste it into an Excel spreadsheet or a Word table or whatever I wanted to put it into. Notice that it shows the same information here. If from any point we can do any type of search. If we wanted to go back to the view mode in the area that we've selected, like credit score, we can select go to view here, and from here we can go back to credit score, but we can go back and browse in whatever area that we wanted to look at. A loan identifier, if we wanted to look at that structure, see, consists of a loan identifier value, a loan identifier type, and here like before, if we click on any type, it shows the type values that are there. So this is a quick look at the how you set up a schema within GridML, how you can view or browse through its structure, and some of the basic search options that are available. There are other videos that are available on the GridML webpage that allow you to look at more detail. For example, if we go back to the GridML webpage and look at resources, there's a list of videos under there that are available that go into some of these functions in much more detail. There's also articles about specific types of schemas or data specifications that we provide more information for. So feel free to take advantage of any of these that are provided on the website. So thank you very much. I hope this provided a good overview of GridML for you. Thank you very much.